Move.
Come to yourself.
Our story begins long ago in a little village called Nazareth in the hills of Judea. Back in Nazareth later that night, Joseph the carpenter also had a message from Angel Gabriel. He did not know if it was a real or a dream. You are to marry Mary, said the angel. She is going to have God's own baby. He is to be called Jesus, and he will save the world. God has chosen you to protect both him and his mother until he is grown up. Go to Mary's father and ask for Mary's hand in marriage. Joseph was surprised at first, but of course decided to do what God had asked of him.
Get your paper and laugh at her because she's said.
Next afternoon, Mary was at home with her parents. She had been helping her mother in the kitchen all morning and was now sitting with her father while he read from a scroll. He was telling her ancient stories of Noah and his ark and Moses leading God's people from slavery in Egypt. Mary liked the idea of God giving the people the promised land, but her favourite story was Noah collecting the animals of every kind. Just as they were having a little wine and honey cakes that Mary's mother had made, there was a knock at the door. Mary's mother went to answer it. It was Joseph. He was very shy. Mary's mother took one look at him and guessed why he had come. She led him into the living room to see Mary's father. She gently whispered to Mary and took her into the kitchen, leaving the men to talk together. At first, the two men did not talk business. Joseph was offered wine and cakes, which he ate and drank before explaining to Mary's father why he had come. He didn't say anything about the angel or the baby from God, but told Mary's father that he loved her and wanted to marry her. Mary's father thought carefully for a while. He knew Joseph was a good man who would make Mary an excellent husband, and he was sure Mary would be very happy to marry such a handsome, kind person. So he told Joseph, yes, they could get married. wedding was a great success. All the village was invited, but nobody guessed Mary and Joseph's secrets. A few months after Mary and Joseph's wedding, a busy market day in Nazareth was interrupted by a group of soldiers marching through the town. The people were a little afraid of the Romans because the Roman legions had conquered the Judean people, and although they had their own king, the wicked Herod, he was just somebody set to rule over them by all the powerful Roman emperor. The soldiers pinned up a notice. This said that Caesar Augustus, the Roman emperor and ruler of most of the world, had decided that everyone must be taxed so he could have money for wars, armies and building projects. To make sure nobody hid from the Roman tax collector, he had decided to make a list of everyone in Judea. This meant every man must take his family to the place where he was born to sign on this list, or census as it was called. The townspeople waited for the Roman soldiers to leave so that they could read the notice carefully and talk about it.
Joseph was very worried. He was not born in Nazareth, but in Bethlehem, a long way from there. To make things worse, Mary was nearly ready to have her special baby. To make the journey easier for Mary, Joseph took her down to the market to choose a gentle little donkey for her to ride. The donkey she wanted was a small and brown and would take care of her. The donkey seller wanted a lot of money at first, but Joseph bargained with him until they agreed a fair price.
Not so bad. There were a lot of friends travelling to Bethlehem to put their names on the census.
But Mary got tired very quickly and had to stop often for a rest. The others walked on and were soon out of sight.
Bethlehem. It was nearly dark and it seems everyone else has found somewhere to sleep. Joseph is worried. Mary says the baby is nearly ready to be born. The innkeeper says there are no spare beds in all of Bethlehem. house after house, but the answer is always the same. Sorry, try again somewhere else. There is no room because the town is crowded with people here to sign up for the Roman census.
Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat, no, no, no. There isn't any room, now you can't stay here. There isn't any room for strangers. The wind may be chill and the night may be cold, and be full of nasty noises in the dark and dangerous. But there isn't any room, there isn't any room, there isn't any room for strangers.
Mary can hardly keep her eyes open when Joseph knocked on the door of Flora's wine shop. There was no answer. Just as Joseph is turning to go, a kind lady came around the corner with a big basket of groceries.
Yes, she says, I'm Flora. I'm sorry, young man, but I haven't a single corner left here, never mind a room. The town is so crowded. But there's one last inn at the end of the town that you might try. Good luck.
At the last inn, the innkeeper said he was very sorry for Mary and Joseph, but there was no room at all inside. His wife came out to say what was going on and what she saw poor Mary. She was very cross with the man for keeping her out in the cold. She offered Joseph the useful of the keeper's stable. The stable was plain and simple, but cozy after the cold outside. The innkeeper's wife put down fresh hay to make a comfy bed for Mary and cleared a hay manger to make a bed for the new baby.
In the middle of the night, in a stable in the little town of Bethlehem, the baby Jesus was born. the only ones to see the baby who was the King of Kings come into the world were Mary and Joseph, the ox and the ass.
High on the hills above Bethlehem, some shepherds were guarding their sheep. It was a dangerous job because there were wolves, bears, and even lions ready to eat stray lambs. A fiery light shone in the sky. The shepherds were terrified. It was the angel Gabriel. He told them not to worry because he had brought great news. The news was that the shepherds were to go down into Bethlehem to see God's own baby called Jesus, born in a stable. This baby was going to grow up to save the world from sin so that ordinary people could get to heaven.
excitement. Some men far away in the east got very interested in a huge star they saw in the night sky. They believed that when a king is born, a new star appears in the sky. The huge size of the star meant this could be the greatest king ever born.
The wise men chose the 3 cleverest and bravest of their group to go and see this amazing king, carrying gifts chose for a king of kings, of gold, of frankincense, of myrrh. They placed their journey with great care, and as the star began to move across the sky, they followed it. The star moved across many countries, and the wise men followed it. The wise men, whose names were Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar, came to Judea. The star seemed to stop. The wise men asked a farmer the way to the nearest palace. They thought that was where they would find the King of Kings. Sadly, the farmer directed them to the palace of the evil King Herod. In the court of King Herod, all was not well. The king was a jealous, mean man who could be very cruel. He was so lazy. He did nothing for himself. The less he did, the more he got bored. The crueler he became. Not all the wealth in the world would satisfy Herod. The lord and ladies of his court grew more like him every day. Everyone was afraid of this awful king.
Evil King Herod was delighted to meet the three interesting new visitors, but he was furious when he heard a baby king had been born who would rule the world. He was so jealous, he asked the three wise men to come back when they found the baby. He said he would give them the new little king a present. The three wise men didn't realize he meant to kill the baby, Jesus, to stop him growing up. The three kings said farewell and went on their search.
to Bethlehem, the three wise men found the baby Jesus surrounded by ordinary people. They gave him their presents. Mary saw and heard all these wonderful things, and she remembered them all. The three wise men were warned by the angels not to go back to Herod, so they went home another way.
Nicola Easets. Matthew Breckens. Kim Woodcock. Romilly Sinclair. Caroline Hunter. Henry Privick. William Douglas. Amy Breckens. Matthew Woodcock. Ashlyn Sinclair. Robert Ord. Wayne Scott. Sean Swinton. Christopher Bales. Catherine Hunter. Paul Douglas. Michael Thompson. Donna Marie Clark. Jonathan Bryars. Also starring in this production